Okay, we're back on.
Oh, beautiful. Are we good to start in a second?
Yeah, so again, countdown and we'll start the timer.
All right, perfect. Okay, so yeah, whenever you're ready, Snake. Wait, could you turn your stream back on Discord real quick?
Yeah.
I forgot to ask.
Let me just get to... I really can't get the SRT open, so it's gonna make things a bit difficult for me, but hey ho.
Perfect.
Right.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so Snake's gonna be running through Claire B, second scenario in Resident Evil 2 remake. It's gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, whenever you're ready, man, I'll count you down.
Yeah, let's go try one more time to get it to start.
Yeah, no worries. He's just getting his SRT up, his little speedrun tool.
Don't think it's gonna work. Let me try.
Classic that it doesn't work on the day of as well. Like you said, it was working yesterday.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Which is weird.
But in the meantime, anyway, just remember, guys, that this event is for EveryoneCan. It's an amazing charity that helps bring gaming to disabled people. And under the stream, you will find the link to the Tiltify page or in the chat. It's for a really good cause, guys.
2 seconds. I'm just running into the machine.
Yeah, guys, so whenever you're ready, count down and start. I don't know if you've already started, but...
oh, no, sorry, he's just setting up...
oh, okay, no, that's fine.
One more thing.
You can plug that in, and then we'll have the... We're just having a headset plugged in very quickly, so give us a second.
I am tired. Help! Help!
Sorry about the very loud kids in the background.
That's okay.
I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Help! I'm still alive.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to sort this. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, though. No, I give up.
Yeah, that's all right, man. You got this, man. You'll wing it.
It's just knowing when they're on...
Yeah, I get that. Not being able to see the health and stuff.
Right, start the timer whenever you're ready.
Start the timer, yeah. All right, perfect. So, yeah, this is going to be Claire second, or Claire B, as I like to call it. Oh, wait, you...
Yeah,
there we go, nice.
Running into that issue.
Snake's game has been a little bit buggy over the past couple of days, but you're just going to see him doing what's called Stair Skating. Pretty much it just lets you move down the stairs quicker. While you're running, I guess you just kind of tap the aim down sight button. Is there like a rhythm to it, or can you just spam it?
I think spamming make it slow. I tend to do it sort of like... There's like a little audio cue, I say. Like, you hear the gun sort of aim.
Yeah, like a
let it go.
So this is where Leon and Claire would meet up in the storyline, kind of showing how that it kind of bridges the gap between what Claire was doing. I guess that's the whole point of the B scenario. Yeah, the classic bolt cutters making their appearance again in every Resident Evil game. So you get the single action army, which I think is exclusive to this scenario, I believe. Nice.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Ocelot's gun of choice, but he's going to throw a grenade here. Get rid of these zombies, because this can be an absolute nightmare. It's one of the big first hurdles. That's okay. Because the thing about Claire is she gets this kind of buff that when she's put on caution, but you're not on caution. So, but if you do, you actually move faster. The movement speed increases. Don't know if that's like an intentional thing on Capcom's behalf. So what you'll see is a lot of runners will intentionally throw themselves on the caution health stance, just so they can move a little quicker. So grabbing the fuse, and then I think we can want to grab the valve. It kind of follows a similar format to the original B scenario. I think that was one of the biggest criticisms of this remake, was that it wasn't as big of a B scenario as it was in the original. It was almost an entirely different story. But it is a pretty cool mode to kind of have.
Yeah, definitely. I like the second one, really. It sort of ramps up the difficulty as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think where, because to those who didn't play the original, there's the two scenarios, A and B, and they're almost two different games. And I think it's because of the limitations. I think it flows a lot, like everything that happens in the B scenario happens in the main game here. So again, this is like a bonus, kind of a range mode almost. But with that being said, we're going to use this fuse, head to the main hall, where I think Marvin's already a zombie here, isn't he? So,
yeah. So that's the like first big difference, I guess.
yeah, you're kind of coming in as Leon's already gone. Then obviously, due to gameplay purposes, a lot of the puzzles are still the same. But I guess from a story perspective, you know, they're kind of doing each other's puzzles.
Yeah, so the puzzles have different combinations.
Oh yeah, they do. They like we're going to be grabbing the 3 coins, I think.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
look,
good.
it's already there. Whew.
I wanted him to hit me. That's not good.
Oh, oh, there you go. So, like I
Time
mentioned
loss.
earlier, it's a time loss, but it puts you on caution, and as you can see, kind of Claire moves a little faster. She's holding her hip. It's all right. We'll consider that a DA manipulation. DA in this game, it's a big kind of part of the remakes. Is difficulty adjustment. I think it was introduced in Resident Evil 4. But basically, it's the game kind of assigns a rating or a number to the player, depending on what they're doing. And the higher the number, the harder the game is. So optimally, a speedrunner is going to keep an eye on their DA and trying to keep it. I think the highest DA score you can get on standard difficulty is 8.
Yeah.
And I think I remember you saying that 7 should be the highest rating that you have.
Yeah. I get to 8 a lot in the lab sometimes, so I need to watch. Well, I can't watch that, but
So this is where Snake was trying to get the SRT working at the beginning. It actually gives you a live reading of your DA as things happen. But obviously we don't have that, so we're kind of going off of
muscle memory.
off of memory here.
Yeah.
Exactly. But another thing about DA as well is again, it's completely based on what you do here. So you can see Snake sometimes kind of shoot some walls or maybe even take some intentional hits. We want to keep it low. We want to try and make the game as easy as possible. I think nice headshot, did I say?
Again, that'll
So
be
grabbing
another
the
thing
kill.
that affects the DA, getting a critical headshot. Probably not what I wanted.
So it's one of those things where in the normal gameplay you're like, oh, that was a nice shot, we get to save ammo, but yeah, messes the DA. It wasn't something I didn't even realise until recently. That it is affected by picking up certain items as well. So picking up certain healing items will actually affect the difficulty. So we blow that up there. Snake actually runs out and runs back in because if you don't, one of the bookshelves knocks over and you have to move it over. It's a huge time waste. But this is I think the first coin puzzle. Like Snake said earlier, the combination changes in the B scenario.
And also the combinations like positions are RNG as well.
Yeah, like when it starts off and stuff.
So felt they were quite alright positions, fairly quick.
So we'll move this over early.
Oh, okay.
No, you know what, that brings me on to my next point. We've got Mr. X here, who's this 10-foot trench coat wearing tyrant walking around. He plays more of a prominent role in the, I think in the A scenario, but because obviously Claire in this scenario made it to the police station late. Oh my god, she's thrown us over.
It's one of the worst RNGs I could have got.
Throws you back in the room, that's frustrating.
And he's got a zombie out here with him.
Got away safely, still on caution, still moving quite quickly. 2 of 3 medals.
It's probably the worst RNG you can get.
Throwing you through the door. It's funny, you just turn around and he's just boom right there.
We want crown, fire, bird. That's in a good position.
So Mr. X is another thing where in the original he was only exclusive to the B game, but with this kind of revamped kind of remake, they put him in all of the scenarios, and I think they really did a good job with him. What do you think of what they did with Mr. X in the remake?
I think they did an excellent job. Apart from that stupid hat he wears.
The little fedora you can shoot off. So already we're on our way down to the basement, to the car park. We're going to fight our first boss real shortly. So with this boss coming up, we're going to be calling him G1. It's his first proper mutation, and you're going to see over the course of the game that we kind of fight as he kind of becomes more of like a monster. He looks almost human-like in this fights coming up. But what the community found very early on in this game's life cycle is that the game is extremely, the knife is extremely overpowered. So you're going to see the snake here just slash away at him. There we go, GG, dude. Well played.
That was a good fight.
That was quite good, man. That was better than I could ever do with it, anyway. But what the community found early on is that the damage of the knife is actually tied to the frame rate of the game. So for this category, Snake runs it's for 120 FPS. I think if it was uncapped, it'd be completely broken with a knife.
Oh yeah, if you could get, because then it'd be like a pay-to-win scenario, really, wouldn't it? 'Cause you could get like
use it.
750 FPS monos and stuff from that. Yeah, it'd get like ridiculous.
I remember that was definitely a big concern at the beginning of the game's life cycle when they were kind of deciding the rules for the speedrun, and I think where they're at now, where there's two categories of 60 FPS and 120 FPS, I think it's a good measure. I think it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's closed.
So at this point of the story, Claire's met Sherry, and they've come across the police chief, or Chief Irons, who's the corrupt police officer who's basically sitting on Umbrella's payroll. He's taken Sherry from us, and the whole objective now is to kind of get her back. As you saw, we need the keycard to get out of here, but we've still got a lot of the police station to go, the second half of it. Snake dodging these lickers here, very nice.
Bad RNG. Wow.
Oh my god, unlucky dude.
It was one of the worst RNGs I've ever seen.
That was going really well, and then they just kind of dogpiled you.
Yeah, I don't know what the first licker was doing. Like, he shouldn't do that at all.
So this is one of the big differences between Leon and Claire, is that with Leon it's dogs down here, here it's lickers is Claire, and the dogs, while frustrating, they are free. The lickers, as you can see, they're a force to be reckoned with in this run. I think in both this and the original.
Yeah, him jumping up to the roof, the first one, is what done it. Because he shouldn't go up there. And then he came round the corner rather than being where he usually is. And it sort of just trapped me.
Oh, Claire couldn't just reach over.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
She's like, I can see a key there, but if only I could just reach further a bit. So making our way back. Oh my god, they're gunning for you today.
I actually don't know where the other one is.
Oh, it's got to be out here, right? In this corridor, maybe?
There's always one out here anyway.
Oh, just style. There we go, we got away safely. So, I've grabbed the diamond key in the morgue. As you can see, there's a kind of a theme with a lot of the items in this game. I think the keys in the police station are based off of like the faces on a deck of cards.
Yeah. So you got your diamond, spade, and heart.
Yeah, and then you got the club key for Leon, and
Yeah.
got a little bit of downtime here while we wait for this elevator. So, what would you say? What got you into speedrunning?
Just watching other runners, really. Yourself, Super King Andy. So yeah, so many people. I'd say mainly watching, because obviously with COVID, I spent a lot of time on Twitch because I was working from home, and and I used to watch Andy like every day when he was running like Claire 8. of this all the time. And then he went over to Resident Evil 3 Remake Inferno, which is yeah, let's not talk about how much
absolute
stress that is.
nightmare. I think it's the hardest mode in the game. It's not known for being too kind.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, input is bad.
So I think the big thing right now is we need to get 2 electronic parts so we can get the key card to get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we now just wanna. So there's part 1.
Got a knife as well. So I guess I haven't really explained too much about the knife and stuff in this game. But if you've ever played the original Resident Evil remake, I guess one of the new things they added was the self-defense items. So when a zombie grabs you or enemy grabs you, if you've got like a dagger or a different kind of weapon on you, you can kind of just use it on them. It saves you from getting bitten. And thankfully they brought it back and really fleshed it out in this game.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
The only big difficulty with this run, and you'll see Snake's got a couple of knives on him, because if an enemy grabs us, it will put you into this kind of scene where you can either choose to take the hits or you can use the item, which isn't very optimal. You need certain knives or a certain amount of knives, as we explained earlier. It's a very crucial item in this run.
Yeah, one of the key features of the game is the knife. Very handy for your boss fights, and yeah, 100% you
So this is where we would usually meet. Yeah, we meet right here in the A scenario, but you've been lurking for a little bit here. Oh,
I didn't get the dodge. Yeah.
that's a dodge. I understand the idea behind it, but I genuinely never get it.
I got it yesterday, typically.
Yeah, it's that marathon RNG.
Yeah.
But what you do for that, you line yourself up with a certain position, and if you're lucky, you'll kind of run past them. So was that was shooting at the floor there just kind of the aim manipulation, or was it more so just to bait the zombies over?
No, that shot there was so I could reload and get free up a space in my item, because I had one bullet.
Oh, I see.
So not optimal by any. Nice.
Counts as a PA manip, so it's all good.
I got a dodge. I didn't expect to get there, but I'm happy with that. Put it soon. Oh god. He might come straight.
There he is.
Yeah. I might die here.
I remember him giving you trouble here at
A bit of trouble.
just been stunned by every enemy in there, but you get away though.
Yeah, just about.
One zombie grabbed you, and then Mr. X punched him, I guess, and then the other zombie grabbed you.
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping Mr. X would kind of knock him off for free as well, but
Marathon RNG, man.
absolutely, yeah. You always got to account for it.
Now that shot was a manip. It sort of takes the enemies that are in here. They sort of get distracted by the shot.
Yeah, it's going to pull them away. It's going to make this a lot easier for Snake to kind of move these bookshelves over. Which was what we tried to do earlier, and then obviously Mr. Rex decided to kind of drop in on us.
I feel like I needed to do an extra one, but not, yeah, no, it's fine, that's fine.
There you got it, it's all good.
I thought because I didn't do the one earlier, I might be in trouble. But I might have actually done the one earlier. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you got a full pushover, I think, in there. So this is our way of getting the second electronic part here in the clock tower. And again, it's interesting to see how they've kind of reworked a lot of the original game stuff into this. In the original, you would use a gold cog to kind of bring a set of stairs down, and again, they kind of remix it / like make it feel very fresh. And then you could tell the developers were very passionate about this remake.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is one of the best remakes I've seen for a long time.
Like they change enough to where it doesn't just feel like they've played it very safe, but there are changes in places where I feel like like the police station they did perfectly. I think the sewers they expanded upon, which I think was needed. And the labs are pretty cool too, but we'll be going to those shortly anyway.
That worked.
So what would you say is your favourite scenario to run on Resi 2 Remake?
I'd say this one. It wasn't before, it was Leon A until I started learning this. And then this is sort of, I really enjoy this run.
Yeah, it seems like a very, I mean, I think Leon's like the standard one that everyone goes for. And I think it's the same in the original too. It's like I think it's the one that everyone played when they were younger.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think I've beaten Leon A about 10,000 times in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, definitely. In the original, yeah, Leon A is definitely the go-to for most people.
The real question is, Resi 2 Original or Resi 2 Remake?
Oh, it's a very hard question. I'd probably go with edging just towards the original, but only just.
Yeah, no. Oops, sorry, I mute myself there. But got a lot of love for the original. And, I think the remake they did, especially compared to what they did with number 3. But
yeah, I thought. I feel I edged towards the original because of like what it did for. Like it was a game I played as a child so much. So
yeah, exactly.
It just brings you back to your childhood, I guess. And now we're playing as the lovely Sherry.
Every Resident Evil 2 runner's favourite character. Thankfully,
she's not that bad on this, yeah.
She's not too bad, exactly. But in the original, she's known for kind of ruining runs and kind of just.
And there we have it. So
Nice,
another puzzle that's quite RNG based. Like I've seen like world record runners luckily get. Not luckily, I suppose everyone gets the same luck, but some world records you can see. Oh, he's done it in like one turn, and you're like, oh, nice. That must be a strat to that, but no, it's literally RNG.
Is it so? It's a bit like with the coin puzzles at the beginning, like the slide, like the way the cubes are down at RNG, or is it just...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Sherry, why?
See, there we are, complimenting Sherry in the remake, and and she jumps down. I think they definitely did because this section here where she's in the orphanage is completely kind of new to the remake, and it's one of the changes that I think is a lot better. I think.
Oh yeah, this section's pretty cool. Right.
Whereas it's like in the original, you only play as her for like a couple of rooms, which is great for the speed run because she's a nightmare to deal with. But going to be making our way over to Irons. To be honest, there's a bit of downtime here. It's very. I don't think there's a lot that can change in this section.
No, it's a bit like a bit of an auto scroller, I guess. Until like you go back into when he's chasing you, which is now. This is where it becomes, I guess, skill based because.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught by. Which is it's a game over if he catches you.
Yeah, instant game over.
You stupid bitch!
But in terms of the story, because he knows that he knows that Sherry's parents work for Umbrella. He's trying to kind of secure his own safety, I guess.
So we just hide here. There is a strat where you can just stand here, but you have to be like precise and.
pixel perfect.
Yeah, and it's not worth ruining your run over.
I wouldn't
It's
trust
all over now.
the Marathon RNG.
Doors locked.
But yeah, again, a little bit of downtime here, but you're pretty much just waiting for Irons to just finish searching the room.
Where are you?
And then once he goes into the
Show
bathroom,
yourself.
just kind of wash his face, because I think he got acid thrown at him.
Yeah, so Sherry threw acid over him in the room where we picked the key up from.
What do you think of kind of how they redid the Irons character compared to the original?
I think he's a lot more creepy in this.
Yeah, no, I just got to be something a lot more sinister about him.
God damn it!
So, you used to run this on Xbox,
Yeah.
and now that you're running it on PC, you know, what would you say was the biggest challenge between like switching platforms?
Oh, you'll know what I'm going to say, but keyboard and mouse, 100%. Yeah, I found that the hardest sort of move over.
Yeah, it can definitely be daunting. I feel like,
And it took me a while to get used to it. Yeah, definitely. Now I'm used to it, it's alright, but when I first started, it was like I was knocking like keys, like the Q key on this makes you turn around, which is handy when you want to use it. But when you don't want to use it,
Fuck is my key?
it's very annoying.
it seems like you've adapted to it really well. Do you ever see yourself going back to console and maybe smashing all your times?
Probably not, to be honest. Like, I like the PC run. I find PC's a lot more accessible in terms of streaming setups as well. So.
Oh, 100%. You need all the catch cards and stuff.
I'm coming for you, Sherry.
So we're just nearing the end of this Sherry section here, because he's chasing us around. And we're not going to see the cutscene, but we'll go in here and he gets attacked by Birkin. And now we find out what Claire was doing during that time.
Good to see you again, Claire.
Well, she was just chilling.
She was watching TV for a little bit. We've got the key card that we need to get out through the basement.
The official story is that while Sherry was running around like that, we actually hit that place we're at now 30 minutes earlier. So obviously while that's going on, that's essentially going on right now while we're making the run there.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool little... that definitely wasn't in the original. I think there wasn't so much interaction. I don't even think Sherry and the Chief interact in the original.
No, they don't.
So we're going to use the key card here.
I think he mentions her.
Yeah, like he mentions that she's running around the building. But we're going to take that punch intentionally, just to lower the difficulty adjustment. And what's interesting about this section is regardless of whether you come here as Leon or Claire, there's like kind of a different part. Like Leon will go through the gun shop, Claire goes around the side, and those are both kind of areas that you're going to see that were originally like straight at the beginning of the game. And it's interesting that they kind of moved it to the middle because it kind of, I guess it flows a little better anyway. There's like a nice little transition spot between the police station. And
yeah, I really like this area. Like it's a bit, because this obviously gives you feels of like the start of the original, where you come up the stairs and you go through here, and there's Misty over
basketball court. Yeah, they even got Misty in a little bin here that you climb over, followed by the basketball courts. And it was interesting playing through it for the first time and thinking, oh no, they got rid of the iconic gun shop and the basketball courts.
Yeah.
But no, it's in the middle. So we've got some doggos here who are always free and never ruin runs in the remakes.
Yeah, they can ruin it, but it's if your line is bad.
Yeah, so I think compared to like Resi 1 remake, they're quite. As long as you do the right movement, you should be okay.
See, that one I had to move out the way of.
Straight through the bus, and yeah, we're here, Raccoon Orphanage. So everything that you saw earlier with Sherry has just taken place, and Claire's just getting here for the aftermath of it all. And then I believe we're moving on to the sewers.
Hello?
Yeah,
I
we're
have
just
the
about
pendants.
to approach the sewers. We'll let you see irons. Why not?
Your fault.
Your fault.
Too long.
He looks very good.
Get off me! Oh my god!
Always
So
like
he,
to show that off. It's very gruesome.
I think it's a reference to Alien. I think when with the chest bursters.
Yeah, could well be.
I think it's meant to give us the idea that the Birkin can infect others, but if it doesn't kind of work or it fails, then it explodes out the chest. And I think that's something that kind of comes into play a little bit later at the end of the sewers.
Yeah.
Don't stop!
So this is actually the last appearance of Mr. X in this scenario. Now in Claire's scenario, we see every Resident Evil fan's dream of Mr. X versus Birkin, but it ends pretty quickly.
Yeah, Birkin basically cuts him in half.
Don't stop! Can you hear me? Keep going.
And then head to the sewers, which again completely reworked in the remake. I think they did such a good job at kind of expanding what is essentially just a handful of rooms in the original, and here it's like a fully fleshed out section.
Yeah, so sewers is free in the original and ever so not free in the remake. This is a very difficult part of the run.
What would you say makes it so difficult?
The G adults for sure.
Yeah, so we got the G adults coming up, which I think in the B scenario they don't make as much of an appearance, but there is a section practically dedicated to them, which will be coming up shortly. In the original, the G adult is its own complete boss to kind of end the police station section. Here they've been just downgraded to just a standard enemy, but upgraded because you see more of them. So
Yeah, definitely.
they work a lot the same. And what you saw jump out of the chief of police's chest grows up into the G adult, which is again what we'll see in a few minutes. A lot of little references here to like the original with like the platform that you have to move down, but kind of reworked. So I think that's the what do they call it? The T-bar valve,
Yes, that's right, yeah.
which is going to help unlock. I think it's 2 extra doors. I think there are more doors that you can open with it, but because we're trying to get through the game quickly, we skip a lot of them. But in a casual playthrough, you might go and explore everything that the sewers has to offer. So the big thing here is we need to get 6 different plugs based off of chess pieces,
Yeah.
which was again in the original, but reworked here for the sewers, which is quite cool.
Yeah, so the original sort of spreaded it out over the whole of the start of the game, really. Whereas on the remake, we only get the first one like now.
Yes, I think this was like the big puzzle that ends the police station. Here it's been kind of moved back a little bit to the sewers.
Yeah.
So what would you say, out of all of the Resident Evil games that you've ran over the past year or so, what would you say is your favourite to run?
Probably this. Just about. I really like running Resident Evil Remake, but it can turn very toxic.
Oh yeah, very much so. But it's such a good game, but the speedrun can be very cruel.
Yeah, I'd lean towards Resident Evil 2 Remake. And the fact you've still got people running it now when it's when you've had Resident Evil Village come out, Resident Evil 3, tells you how much of a good job they did with it.
I think they really smashed it out of the park with this one. I think I'm not gonna sit here and talk about Resi 3 Remake because I'm gonna be here all day. I think we'd both be here talking all day about it, and we've only got like half an hour of the run left. But let's just say I think they smashed it out of the park with a lot of these Resident Evil games. So there's the G at Dolphins. Lovely form, and what Snake could do is shoot him because they kind of sit idly in the water until he runs past and just jump on you. He shoots it jumps up, we run straight past it.
Now that's the crit I did want.
That was a very nice crit.
That's the one I would want because he will be there on the way back otherwise, so that's actually a very good crit to get.
The marathon RNG was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a little nice. Give you this one. You know, I think I've been a bit mean to you throughout this one.
Yeah, it just depends what these two zombies do because you see this one will fall off. Now he's RNG based where he can be either a crawler or not a crawler, and we got crawler, which is nice, very nice.
The sewer is nice and wet today. I didn't know that though. I didn't know the RNG with the. But we got to grab the spark shot, which.
We need to get rid of something, so I'm going to get rid of that. I don't really need the handgun on that.
So this big yellow gun on Claire's back, the spark shot, it's going to play very critical to a lot of the end game fights.
Not good. Was that my last grenade? No, it wasn't good.
Yeah, he's still got another grenade, which we're going to need for an upcoming boss fight coming up shortly.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen when he grabbed me.
It's a good thing you had the spare one in your back pocket, though. Which always makes me laugh just how much these guys, like these Resident Evil characters, can just fit so much in their pockets.
Yeah, it is, man.
Just got a rocket launcher on your back, Magnum, maybe a couple of boxes of shotgun shells, all within your pocket. So yeah, more stair skating here, which again, it's just interesting how many of these mechanics come in, but this is the getaway. We've been trying to get out of here now. Got past him pretty easy. I think he went to shoot his
Yeah, so shooting him can sometimes trigger that he starts to spit his stuff out.
one more here, I think.
Yeah. So this
one
one
always
needs
goes
to do that.
Just like that. I think that's all of them for the run. I don't think we can deal with any more of those.
No, that's all of them now.
GG's.
So this room is very daunting, where it can just be run ruining.
It does look like, not only is it a terrifying looking run in general, but like I completely understand. And now we've got all of the plugs. We've got we're going to be using the Queen, Bishop, King, Knight, the Rook. And what you need to do with this puzzle is you need to put it in a certain, like it'll give you like a kind of riddle as to what you need to put these plugs in which order. And I think it changes in B, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Okay, I'm in a bit of bother. So I will just because I'm not on PvP, so I'm just going to go and be safe.
Yeah, just play it safe. Just don't need that the tool anymore. I think this is where the SRT would have came in handy, but unfortunately it wasn't acting today.
Bishop.
like that. I think when this game came out, I think it took me about 20 minutes to do this puzzle and to work it out.
Alright, Sherry.
Yeah, same. It took me a while.
But we are on our way to G2, which is the next mutation of Birkin. It's a very interesting fight. You see a lot of the mechanics kind of in the game here. Starting off with a mini puzzle, which Snake will get done almost instantly. Easy. So what Snake's done there is he's thrown the grenade, and doing so actually skips this whole first section of the fight. Usually what would happen is you would kind of be running around the room as it kind of set itself on fire, and you would lose more space as he was kind of slicing you from above, and you'd have to be careful. But here with the grenade we can skip that stage entirely and move on to the second phase of the fight. As you can see by this huge container to our left here, and narrowly missing that that swipe. We're going to call this crane over, and we're going to use it to we're going to use it as a battering ram to knock Birkin off.
Not the RNG would have wanted, but hey ho.
So what we're doing here is we're just knifing him a little bit by doing so. I think it's like a 2 cycle, I think, when you call the crane over. But if his health is below 50%, then we can get him down in 1. So you're just going to see Snake here just kind of farm him down.
Have I got a surprise for you?
I messed my keyboard input up.
You made it, that's okay, you got it?
I knocked a different
So
button.
you stopped there and I was like, uh-oh, but yeah, like I said, 1 cycle, GG.
This is taking
Yeah,
forever.
that actually went pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah, honestly, I think, I know you were concerned because the SRT, you didn't see his health, but you got him below 50% and...
Yeah, I probably did a few extra swipes than I would have done, because you can literally have it on like 49.9 and you're fine.
Yeah, that's alright though, just playing it safe.
But
I think what's
with
interesting is...
it's hard.
Wait.
I mean, I've seen I was watching a run earlier on this, and I've seen that runners will actually lower their graphics settings for certain boss fights. I think that's just so you can maintain like the maximum amount of FPS
Yeah, I
at all
should have done
times.
that, to be fair.
You're gonna be
No, to be fair, I was watching it and I was looking at the frames, and I think you're fine, honestly. But I think it's just one of those safety things you can do, or maybe if you're just worried that a lot of those kind of effects and set pieces are going to tank the frame rate.
good.
So, not much to say here. We've just grabbed Sherry, who has been infected with the same thing that Irons was earlier.
Okay.
Because Sherry and Birkin are both related, there's a chance that she could mutate, so we need to go to Umbrella's secret lab underground, which is the final part of the game.
Do not exit until the final destination.
What do you say your thoughts are so far for the run?
Yeah, pretty well. Obviously, the death from the liquors was bad. But everything else has been okay, I'd say. Obviously, we had the Mr. X problem after getting the crank handle, and that was about it, really. I'd have liked to have got the dodge on
Stand clear until the doors
Mr. X as well at the helicopter, but other than that, things have been pretty okay, I'd say.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you've powered through it, I think.
40 minutes, so not too bad to be at that time here.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably like 39, 38 here.
We're just going to drop Sherry off and get a hold of what is essentially, I think it's like the bracelet here and the grenade launcher too, which it wasn't until I saw you speedrunning this that I worked out, because usually you'd get it earlier on in the game, but I guess it just gives it to you now if you haven't obtained it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the premise.
So we've got the little, the Fitbit, which we can use to open up doors. And then I think the main objective of the labs is to just kind of upgrade it so you can get access to higher level doors,
Yeah, that's right.
much
yeah.
like in MGS.
Yeah, a lot like Metal Gear Solid with like the level cards and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting. But we're just about to get number 2 here, which will get us access to the bridge.
Yeah, and then we get this for the spout shot.
What does that do with the upgrade?
It makes like it modularizes like the charging of it a bit better.
Oh, I see. So it just makes the charge quicker for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weapon upgrades are a big part of the game casually. I think if you're playing this, you know, you're going to upgrade all your guns, but it's not really required for most weapons in this game because we miss a lot of them. So that's one of the only upgrades I think we grab in the run. We've got the little the modulator or something. It's like going to be using that to.
This turns like our electricon that's off in certain rooms. It's called a signal modulator. So basically, it's basically like when your lecky goes.
Someone at Umbrella has not been paying the bills. But I think the lab is kind of split into 2 sections here. In this first one, you've got the, I don't even know what you'd call it. I guess we're making the chemical, right? It's got all of the IVs, the plants.
Yeah.
So we're about to meet a set of enemies who in the original.
Yeah, I'm just going to open my puzzle solution because I can't remember.
Yeah, that's alright, no worries. So because the puzzles do change like with each scenario here, so just getting hold of them.
I usually have it open, I just completely forgot because I was worried about the SRT too much. But yeah, it's pretty standard.
So here's the Ivy, who's been completely revamped in this game. I think in the original they looked cool, but they didn't really do anything. They're very slow. You could usually run past them. I think if they grabbed you, it'd be very dangerous. But again, I think even as a casual player, you just sprint past them. In this one, though, they're very dangerous. If they grab you, if you don't have a defense item, it's GG. They're going to instantly kill you. So this puzzle kind of works like a standard number pad almost. So instead of the shapes, if you just envision it being numbers, it's 5, 8, 3, 1, I believe.
Yeah, and 2048, which was the first one I did.
2048. I need to change that because I put that wrong. My notes.
Yeah, so you have two. So you do. So the 2048 opens the hatch, and then 5831 opens this.
Oh, the little drug testing lab.
Yeah. And this code is pretty simple. It's blue, red, green. Blue, red, green. And Sornek, do you want to have a guess at the last 3?
I'm not too. Is it going to be blue, red, green again? I think it's changed again. This is another puzzle that changes.
Yeah, it's. I think it's something like red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green.
So it just reverses it.
Yeah, and it takes out one of the blues, like the final blue. So yeah, not too much difference, but it sort of like flips it on its head essentially.
Again, though, it's another puzzle that took me about 20 minutes to do in the first playthrough. So.
Yeah. And the funny thing about the greenhouse codes is if you're playing casually, you'd actually go down here first.
Yeah, to find out the codes, right? I think.
Yeah, it's on a statue which tells you it's this. This is the code to unlock the drug testing thing. So we want. Oh no, I forgot to edit it first. Yeah, so we do examine. And then we go to URF, and then it's www, and then D.
Easy.
and I'm not going to claim I'm clever. I've got a sheet in front of me that tells me that. It's one of the things I've found the most daunting to remember. And the worst thing is, I've actually got Leon codes up by accident. Luckily, they're the same by the looks of it. I've just realised
If they were the
Leon
A scenario
second.
ones.
Oh yeah, I'd have been in trouble, wouldn't I? I've just looked at it. Why does it say Leon second?
Hold on a second. This is another thing where they've kept it from the original, but the context is completely different, and they just show so much like love and appreciation for the original while changing things. And I think that's probably the best way to deal with any remake, you know.
Yeah, I really like the labs in remake. Okay.
Yeah, no, I like the changes they've made to it. I do prefer the original's kind of aesthetic of being quite cold and like, terrifying. This looks a bit more. Looks less evil.
Yeah.
We've just made it out.
Yeah.
The
Not
look has been a
great.
fresh meat. That's alright though, 'cause spots on caution again, so we'll consider it a DA minute. That's the beauty of this game, you can just blame it all on that. So Snake's going to stun him so we can run around, because I don't think we can afford you losing another knife here or a defense item.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, you'll just keep
I
as
probably
many as you
could,
can.
because I'm not going to do knife only on a
So much for the weed
G3, but still, I'd rather not lose it.
Yeah, exactly, just want to keep it safe. So we've used the chemical that kills the plants, blocking us from getting our Fitbit upgrade here, and now we can access pretty much most of the lab here. All very nicely dodged.
I got lucky. I shouldn't have even heard the scream, but I got slightly caught on the edge, so I gave it, and then it moved a bit further forward than it usually is.
I was actually watching the world record to this, and he runs straight past it, but he almost gets grabbed. It's terrifying.
Yeah, the positioning there didn't help. That's why I did what I did.
Yeah, honestly, like I think there's nothing wrong with playing it safe. But now we go to the test area, where we can get the vaccine for Sherry, and almost at our not second to last boss. There's like almost a gauntlet here of 3 bosses coming up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
So save the best to last there, because it's going to be very interesting to see how Snake deals with it here. I mean, there's a few different strats that you can do.
Yeah,
But I
like
think you're
I
gonna
just
be-
touched on, you can knife only it, you can do all sorts of things really.
I quite like that there's like different strats you can do for it though.
So we want Q, W, 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 D, 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 D. I now have it. The Lecky's back online. We just put our top-up card in and it's back on.
I think a really cool attention to detail in that room you just ran through is that you'll run through and it almost kind of just clean, because throughout the course of the game the character's uniform or costume gets progressively like worse as they're going through the sewers and fighting zombies. You can imagine, right?
Antiviral
But
agent.
it almost like,
Gotta get back
and
to
it does the
shore.
same thing with Leon as well, where it completely like cleans them up because they've just ran through this I don't know what you'd call it, like decontamination room, I suppose.
Yeah. It's really cool. Right,
With
we
that being
want
said-
a charge shot open. There we go.
Right, on our way to G3, which is one of 3 upcoming bosses. So you guys are in for a treat here.
Yeah, this is like a little boss rush, really.
So you're going to see him using the spark shot here. Snake's going to be using it to stop his eyes. He's got 3 of them, I believe. He's got one on his back here. And then he's going to drop forward, a few eyes dropping out.
Where's my graphics?
So, as I mentioned earlier, Snake's going to change the graphics quality so we get more frames here. That way we're keeping, as you can see.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what happened there.
So again, because the frame rate is stuck at 120, and there's a lot going on here, so we want to try and make sure we're always hitting that consistent 120. Fight here almost. He's it's about to do one more thing, isn't it? Oh, very nice.
Oh, I got the skip.
GG.
So you did.
Yeah, that was perfectly timed. So if you don't get the skip, I think he goes up and he grabs like a massive chunk of the wall to drop on you.
Yeah. I haven't got that in my PV, so I don't know how much time I saved, but
yeah, that might save a little bit of time there. GG's, dude.
I'm at 52, so I'm definitely actually on PB pace. I think. I might be close to it anyway.
Back to Sherry.
So now we're on our way back to give Sherry the vaccine. And then I think 2 more bosses left in the boss rush.
Yeah.
And we need to escape the labs as well.
That was actually a really, pretty solid G3 though.
No, honestly, he did a really good job with it. Like, so what advice would you... So if there were any runners in here who were maybe looking into getting into Resident Evil, specifically like the Resi 2 remake, like, what advice would you give them?
I don't want to rush you, but
I'd honestly say, like, watch runs, look into Seven Rady's guide. He does a brilliant guide on this game, especially Leon A and Claire A. I'm not sure if he's done, like, the second scenario guides, but he's definitely done a good guide on the A side. And honestly, ask people questions if you've ever got them. Honestly, it's one of the best communities out there in terms of speedrunning. They're always down to hell. And I think I don't follow this advice, but it is an advice I would give. Do not reset your runs too early. And I think every speedrunner does it, where they think, "Oh, that's not good. I'm going to reset." But yeah, you can still PB with certain mistakes. Like, look at me, I died at the Lickers and I'm still at like 54 minutes here, which is really good. So
exactly. No, I think it's advice. It's kind of do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah. Yeah, don't die. There's my advice. Don't die.
Don't die. Don't get grabbed by enemies. Forehead and world record easy.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, I think this is a perfect... I think Resi 2 Remake is this perfect kind of blend between old Resi and new Resi.
Yeah.
And I think it makes for such a good speed game. I think you've got different components from the original, such as your movement, your inventory management, your lines, but you've got things like aiming and then de-aim manipulation from the newer titles. So again, it is this perfect blend.
Yeah.
Gonna wait for Sherry here as we make a run. It's okay, Sherry. The lab isn't going to blow up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you take your time.
You take your time. It's okay.
Sherry, run!
Got a few more ivies scattered over the lab as we make our escape here.
So these are a lot more difficult on the A side, where there's like, well, not A side, sorry, Leon side, because they actually get up earlier for Leon, so you actually have to deal with them. As Claire, it's sort of run past them, you're good.
Yeah, like they're already
GG's.
late now.
Stupid thing's locked.
And then we've got to wait here while Sherry
Sherry,
climbs
what are you-
over and unlocks it.
From the other side.
Something interesting is that this sequence of kind of waiting for Sherry to unlock something was actually going to be in the original Resident Evil 2.
Damn it, your timing sucks.
You can actually see it online as a cutscene. So it's quite cool to see how they brought it back from where they weren't able to do it in the original. So are there any big strats here against these IVs while you're waiting?
Minutes until detonation.
Shoot them out of the way, really, as best you can.
Yeah, just like kill time, I guess, while you wait for Sherry to unlock the door.
Oh,
Oh,
this happened to me yesterday.
that's okay though. Don't. Ooh, my God.
Really? The flash one?
Flashbang didn't do anything.
Come on, Claire! We have to hurry!
I have lost an eye.
Nice work.
How many have I got? It's just a one. Okay.
You got your grenade.
Yeah.
Should be okay. Again, as Snake said earlier, there are a few different approaches to the bosses, which I think is good. I think it doesn't just invalidate your run if you mess up. Like, there's still ways of beating these bosses.
Not great, but hey ho. Happens.
We'll get for it. We got
Sherry,
this.
you hanging in there?
Final stretch now anyway. Two more bosses
I
left.
think we're almost out of here.
I think.
8.
Yeah, that's it for all the regular enemies from here on out. It's just the boss rushing coming. And again, this is another run that's kind of been remixed here. I think the fight coming up here we would usually do as we enter in the labs, but here we're doing it as we're leaving.
And this is the one fight you don't care about not having the SRT in, because for some reason this boss's SRT is actually broke.
Really?
So yeah, and this is like for everyone, not just me. It's like, yeah, it's basically just done. So it sits at 99.9 for the whole thing, and so you don't really know what's going on.
We get this gun up here.
Why can't you just die?
Dog form, I guess you could call it. G form. Snake's going to get the grenades ready for us in a minute. We'll have to quick climb up here on the wall, and if we throw the grenade at the right time, there we go, just like we've done there.
No.
So it's not going to, yeah, that's unlucky. If you throw it quite early, it will stop you from doing this. But it's fine. Thankfully, it doesn't attack us.
I got that. Cool. So having these acid rounds is going to help.
Is he weak to acid rain?
I'm not sure. It's just extra bullets though.
It's just like throws a grenade. And at this point, he's got to be quite low, right?
Yeah. Screwed though. final boss really hard.
Oh, unlucky, dude.
God's sake.
But that's okay though, because at least it puts you in a better setup now. At least. Because he was not behaving there, was he?
No. It's just I didn't do it right. I messed up that first grenade, which was
Roughly how long do we have left of the run, by chance?
about 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. We're just slightly overestimated as well, but don't worry about it.
We've just got a handful of bosses left after this one. Fight the last one.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. Just let us know when the time is of it. Exact time when it's ready.
I've put my grenades again, so I'm really not doing this boss fight very well.
7 minutes until destination.
He is just not letting you get through this, is he?
No, he's being nasty.
That's because we were pointing out what the RNG you had earlier on. But could that come down to where the difficulty button level is?
I'm sorry?
Could it be a DA thing as to why you got it?
Could be.
So I remember you saying that in the labs it can be a bit of a... Nicely done. Fine by being able to pop his eyes with the Gatling gun. But there we go, that was much better, dude. GG's. And then one more fight. So this is G5, which is much like in the original, is exclusive only to the B scenario. It's supposed to be the true ending. The fight you just saw with G4 is actually the final boss for Claire in the A scenario. But here we have to fight his final transformation here as he kind of jumps in the back of his train. I think the strategy here is just to unload everything you've got on him, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotta stop moving like this.
I was watching the world record run and he uses a knife for this section, which is insane to me.
Yeah, you can do it, but you just have to be spot on the timing.
Yeah, because I think he can instantly you.
For fuck's sake, how the hell are you still kicking? Chris, like,
Yeah, this is it. It's just crazy to see kind of how far Birkin's gone from when we fought him at the beginning of the run. Just kind of doing it now with this huge mass. Kind of got nothing.
Yeah.
And Tentacle just slowly crawling his way up the track. But there we go, GG. That should be time, I believe.
Yeah, that is time.
GG's, dude, honestly. Good run.
1 hour 26, so not too bad. I didn't quite PB, but it's because of the death here and there, but not far off so bad.
Honestly, I mean, you got the skip as well with G4. No, sorry, G3. But yeah, no, honestly, GG's, dude. I think he did really well. The game threw a lot of marathon RNG at you, but yeah, dude. How do you feel it went?
Yeah, really good, and thanks for having me on this event. Really good.
Yeah,
I'll just say thank you for getting this one.
Sorry?
Well, thanks so much for the run. It was actually really interesting to watch since I haven't played as in Evil 2 before, so it was really cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Great
thanks,
commentary as well.
No
That's
worries.
really interesting.
final time there was 106.09.38 as well, so not too bad. Slightly overestimate, but you know these things happen. It's marathon luck at the end of the day.
Yeah, but always the way you put. Yeah, I'll put the best time I can get in, and then you're like, oh, probably shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, and we'll go over to the next one.
Absolutely. Take care.